Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. All right, today's beautiful Sunday. Let's get on with the thread. Today's juicy thread for today is, what are some of the worst / best roommate stories you have? All right. Worst, I found my drunk roommate ass naked pissing in my drawer. Oh,
Wrong.
Come on, man. When I told him to stop, he held up a hand to silence me and told me that it was the special drawer.
Bruh.
Okay, and designed to be pissed in. Okay. All right, man. His best one, not one thing, but we are good friends who had a lot of fun together. He said, not a damn good story. That nigga pissed in my shit. All right. I'm in a tiny dorm room. Beds no more than 6 feet apart, but still with 2 desks, dressers, etc. Randomly assigned roommate. We spoke to each other maybe 3 or 4 times the entire semester. We also have completely opposite class / sleep schedules. I had to wake up / go to sleep super early. He stayed up all night. I also don't think that he had many friends, at least not any that I ever saw. But like I said, we didn't talk. We stayed on our side of the room. It wasn't super healthy, but I had my own life and I didn't really need to be in the room that much. So I'm a heavy sleeper, which is good because it means his schedule doesn't bother me. But the thing is I would go to sleep and he would be sitting at his computer, I think on 4chan, but when I woke up at 6:30, he'd be completely passed out, either on the floor or on his bed, surrounded by empty beer cans. I mean, completely surrounded. The more I could drink, more than I can drink on my own in one night, and I pretty much breathe whiskey at this time. I never woke up. Did he really drink all of that every night? Did he have people in the room? What the hell did he do while I was asleep and when he was drunk? It isn't possible to be farther than 6 feet away from another person in this room. There isn't anything that becomes not creepy just because you step 6 feet back. It's a mystery I'll never solve. I mean, you're a deep ass sleeper, so it's possible that he could have been having some people over or just one person over and you don't even know. And he's just like, shh, just keep it super quiet, Either that or that nigga just could be that guy, you know what I mean? He just drinks that much and he's just fucking that guy. I don't know. My apartment was changing so we could go out. But apartment mate, was changing so we could go out, but she was taking a long time. I knock on her door and hear her say, come in. Turns out she said, don't come in, saw them boobies and got slapped. He was just like, dude, hey man, you ready? She's like, don't come in. He's like, all right, cool. Oh, those are nice. Got smacked up. Damn. He said they were small, 1.5 thumbs up. All right. Let's see. First year in university, I got assigned a random roommate. By all accounts, he would be what most considered to be horrible. He was extremely messy, had the weirdest sleep schedule, usually went to bed around 5 a.m. and would wake up around 3 p.m., smoked all the time, not in the room, would shower like at 3 a.m., had his girlfriend over all the time, but he and I got along fine. The reason being that he knew that he had all these shitty habits, so he'd be consistently asking me if it was bothering me and that he'd clean or be quiet if, He'd clean or be quiet if it was bothering. Okay. He was super considerate all the time and he thought really is what counts. I never had negative feelings toward him ever because he was so thoughtful. I now live with 2 of my best friends and they're the same way and we get along well. All right, man. Okay. Nice W. I choose substance-free dorms because I wanted a quiet place to study, and if I decide to start drinking, I could just go out and do it. My roommate chooses substance-free because he thought the rooms would be nicer. Anyway, he was hospitalized twice for alcohol poisoning. Holy shit. Had sex with a girl who squirted all over the couch.
Bruh.
What the fuck? And finally took a dump on the floor. What?
Bruh.
What? When people ask why we were not rooming with him this year, we just say we got sick of him leaving his shit all over the place. Facts. What the hell? Jesus Christ. They're just like, yeah, man, I love no substance dorms because they're so much cleaner and nicer. And I don't know, this nigga's just a wrecking ball. He said, I'm going to bring a bitch that damn near pisses all over the place. I'm going to take a shit on the floor. Like, god damn, nigga got hospitalized for alcohol poisoning. Bruh, you get your shit together. Golly. I had just moved with this guy who was a pretty good friend of mine. A few weeks later, he walks into my room at 3 in the morning to tell me that he's in love with me while I was piss drunk sitting in the bed in my underwear, fully knowing I am not into him since he knew I was into another guy. Okay. Awkwardness ensued with us not talking at all for the next few months until the time came when I told him he needed to move out. I still feel bad for the way things played out. Oh my god. He's such a nice guy. Oh shit. He was sober and I'm pretty sure he was a virgin too. The part of it still don't understand what he was thinking. Oh, I mean, you know, that's a little awkward. It's like he kind of confesses his feelings for you and you're like, oh shit. Yeah, sorry, bro. It ain't really like that. Freshman year of college, I had a roommate that would piss in styrofoam cups. God damn it, man.
Bruh.
All right. And leave it in the room. The bathroom was only 3 doors down, but apparently that was too far. 3 days, 3 days a week, I had an early class, and I'd come back to a piss cup. One day, I finally had enough and poked small holes in the bottom of the empty cup in the room. I made sure my desk and dresser had stuff all over the top. I came back to find his dresser completely cleared off and a sponge sitting on the top. Dude, what the fuck? Why piss in a cup, bro? The bathroom isn't that far. Man, and that's disgusting. Like, what do you do with the piss at that point? You piss in the cup and then what? You still got to go to the bathroom so you can dump the cup out and use it again? Or is he throwing it away in the trash? Like, what are you doing with the piss cup after that? Okay. My best roommate ever were a gay couple that shared my spare bedroom. They loved to bring girls around for the sole purpose of getting me laid. Best wingman ever. I'd even have to work for it. I didn't even have to work for it, and I got more action in those 10 months than any time before or since. Hey, man, facts, bro. Facts. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. You know, I got one gay homeboy, and every time he has like a birthday party or a gathering or, whatever, he be bringing around some bitches and woo, me and my boy Alex, we'd be just like, man. And he's always just like, you guys can't fuck my friends. And we're just like, all right, chill, man, chill. He hated that shit, but he was always a good wingman, roommate kept throw up in a bag in his closet for a year? What for? Oh, that's disgusting. I am so sorry if you are eating while listening to this episode. Oh my God. Okay, that's disgusting. We're moving on. Oh, That's easy. Friday night, I'm high and playing Xbox 360. He's chilling, watching, leaves the place to go to CVS to get something to drink next door to the building. Comes back with fudge Oreos for me. Didn't even ask for it. All right, man. Hey, sometimes they just know you, man. Back in college, we found a random roommate on Craigslist. He seemed like a nice enough guy. One morning, I woke up with a nasty hangover and decided to make breakfast. Random roommate comes in the back door in a black smock and is covered in blood and guts while holding a machete. Turns out he had just finished slaughtering a deer in the backyard. Okay. I mean, I guess you get what you get, when you find a guy on Craigslist. I guess. I mean, look, man, as long as he just didn't have any like weird serial killer tendencies, if he wasn't like Jeffrey Dahmer and shit, where he's just like playing with the innards and all that kind of stuff. If he's just like, hey, yo, we about to eat, I'd have been like, all right, I'm cool with it, but if he's sitting there doing some weird shit, I'd have been like, all right, man, yeah, you gotta go, bro. You know what I mean? So, all right, at least you didn't die. Take some W's where you can get them, I guess. I lived with one of my best friends in college. She would get really drunk a lot. I've had to clean her puke a number of times. Oh God. Some of my friends' moments with her include she had a toy car that she brought out with her drinking. She hooked up with a friend of ours one night and lost her toy car under his bed. She also used to drive the car over his body like a little kid. She put it in her mouth and down her pants. Okay, hopefully she didn't choke on it. That would suck. Another shining moment, she went to the bathroom at a bar and came home and went to change. She pulled down her pants and a fly flew out. She had been harboring a fly in her undies. Her new nickname was Venus Flytrap. Wow. Okay, god damn, man, she needs some help. What the hell? Like the toy car thing, all right, whatever, that's fine. It's a little weird. I've never known like a grown ass woman to have a toy car and take it out driving. Okay, I'm like taking out to bars with her and shit like that. Okay, do your thing. And then the whole fucking fly thing. All right, how did a fly get in there? You know what I mean? Like how did a fly get in there, and then how did you not feel it moving around? So many questions. So many questions, man. Jesus. So many questions. Like, how? How does this happen? Goodness. I had a roommate who tried to sue me. Oh, wow. My roommate and I were best friends for months. We'd always make fun of each other and jokingly complain about one another. One day I walked in, jokingly asked how I was supposed to study when she was making food that smelled so strong. Her food was not related to her ethnicity, which seems to be something I need to clarify often. She all of a sudden started screaming at me about how inconsiderate and disrespectful I was being. What a horrible bitch I am for it, etc. I was speechless and freaked out. So I grabbed the book I needed and walked out. From this point on, she hated me. Eventually, I had to move out. She tried turning everyone against me and made my life as much of a consistent living hell as possible. I talked to the RA about how I'd handle something and what I should do next, and she should only say, you honestly tried everything I would have suggested. My roommate would send me strings of text if I responded asking to talk about it later. Since it was often while I was in class, she would send me more messages about how childish and immature I am for not facing the problem. If I responded to all of her questions, I never ever said a negative word in response to anything she said. She decided that everything I said was unfair and rude of me. If I said I'd do whatever she wanted to stop the arguing, just asking that she tell me what's wrong. She'd send more texts at me for not taking responsibility and recognize my own actions and refusing to tell me the problem. If I ignored the messages, I would receive many more complaining about being immature and avoiding problems that need to be dealt with, and she would not speak to me in person. She flat out ignored that I was in the room. Eventually, I had to move out. I couldn't do it anymore. Her makeup was smeared across my pillow. I don't wear makeup. She stolen a few small things. I had seen one of my bright yellow things poking out of her drawer and disappeared along with her. I ran out to get an RA. I waited till she left in silence to move out. I got around 15 people to help me carry things to get it done before she got back. Blah, 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 blah. Golly, God, that's a long story. The long... TLDR is pretty much, she was making her life a living hell for what? You know what I mean? It just seemed like homegirl was just like, I just don't like this bitch. She was just like, I just don't fucking like you. I hate you. I just don't want you to be around me or something. Like, Jesus Christ, man. All right, we're going to be moving on. I had a roommate who streaked naked in our room and jacked off in the bed when he thought we were asleep. Oh my God. It was science camp in the 5th grade and there were 4 of us. Oh, man. Damn, nigga, 5th grade and you beating your meat? God damn. I roomed with my best friend who wanted to install an air conditioning in her room. Just wait until I get back from class, I said, because my best friend broke her ankle drunk 3 times in one semester. I come back from class. Ooh, she's laying on her bed and the AC is blowing in her face. I felt bad to make you help me, so I figured it out myself. I didn't have a problem, whatever, until next week. My friend bangs on the door. Look at my room. Help me. I go to her room, and the floor is wavy. Each crest about a foot high. I stumble over the AC unit, which was not properly tilted backwards, so the water from the unit dripped inside the room instead of outside. It was too mad to say anything and told her to put her furniture over it. I ended up staying at a boyfriend's place. Yo, okay. How many boyfriends did you have? Apparently, hey, over here at a boyfriend's house. Damn, bitch, you got this man. Belongs to the streets. Golly. The whole year and forgot about the floor until I had to check out with the landlord. I was the last roommate to move out. 20 minutes until the landlord came in to inspect. I finally panicked and did the only thing I could think of. I just started jumping up and down on the waves. It worked. The landlord inspected and she didn't mark anything down for my friend's room, but I desperately wanted the LL out before the floor popped up again. You look like you've been having a workout, the landlord said. Yes, I have, I said as I shut the door. All right. Okay. Let's do our next one. Blah, blah, blah. I had this really cool apartment for a couple of years, and this girl I was acquainted with, we'll call her Beth, moved into another bedroom because it was getting too expensive for me to afford the whole place alone. We became amazing friends, always had a really good time hanging out. One day I was severely injured at work and had to stay with my mom for a couple of weeks across town because I just couldn't take care of it myself. Broken glass sliced into my hand, arterial spray, spray, nerve damage, extensive surgery. Jesus Christ. About 3 days after returning, I got word that the close friend of mine had killed herself. Oh, no. Killed himself. I was really fucked up about it, and so when I went back to stay with my mom for a couple of days, just because I needed the motherly comfort, I went back to my place on the 1st of the month to give the landlord rent. When I went inside to collect Beth's rent, her bedroom was completely empty. I guess she had decided to move out without telling me, knowing full well all the shit I was already going through. So she could live with her boyfriend. I would have minded if she had left a damn note or even texted me or something, but damn, that was hurtful. Yo, that is crazy. Like, first she gets this really bad injury. She has to have surgery and all that kind of stuff. She goes to hang out with her mom. Then she finds out her friend killed himself. And then her roommate moves out. And so she's like, fuck, now I got to pay all the rent myself. God, talk about like a bad time going worse and worse. Like, dude. Oh my God. My first roommate in college, she never attended class again after the first week. Got a hold up nightly and would troll the dorm lobby for fuck buddies. Oh, Jesus, okay. Sometimes she'd bring them back to our room. Sometimes she'd go back to theirs, then stumble in drunk loud at 3 to 4 a.m. She got a cat and kept it in our room against the rules, and it shit everywhere because she didn't get it a litter box. Also left cans of tuna around for it until they putrefied. Okay. Worst of all, she'd let her friends sleep in my bed every weekend while I was at home. Stupid me. Boyfriend still in high school. Okay. We found out pretty quickly that this friend had fucking crabs. Oh shit. Yo.
She belongs to the streets.
God damn. This didn't stop her from letting the friends sleep there. It just led to me having to change the sheets every Monday morning when I came back. Oh, and she stole about half my clothes too. I was so glad her parents recalled her skanky deadbeat national merit ass at semester. God damn, dude. Man, yo, some of these chicks at college are wild. And why'd she have a cat and not take care of it? Like, bro, man, like the cat's shitting all over the place. There's tuna laying all over the place, just smelling putrid. She'd just be fucking random dudes. Like, bro, god damn. And then she got crabs. Like, yo, what the fuck? All right. We'll probably do two more. An ex-roommate had his front bumper dented by his sister while he was at home on holiday. Some months later, he was parked near our apartment on the street when the car had backed out, hit him in the same spot that his sister hit him. My ex-roommate was very ecstatic about this, as now he could defraud, though he didn't use that term, of course, the stranger for the damage his sister caused. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. He even expressed some joy in it and mentioned that there was no additional noticeable damage, and he would be telling the stranger any of that. I checked the car out and agreed that there was no additional damage. Noted, the stranger that hit him left the note with his phone number, and my ex-roommate, being an unorganized, messy idiot, just left the note in the open. I got the guy's number, called him, and explained that, I paraphrase, while I wasn't at the scene, ex-roommate's name says that it looks like you didn't do any damage to the car. It was caused by his sister. I have to agree there is no noticeable damage that he caused. Some months later, the stranger sent me a thank you note to add to some irony. The story, my ex-roommate is gay, and this man found out is a doctor and had been catering to HIV positive patients since the 80s. My ex-roommate would have ripped off someone that stood up for him in ways that many would or could not shame. Damn, son. He was gonna fucking pretty much like the damage that the sister did. He was gonna be like, oh yeah, you did that. Give me some money. And then homeboy was just like, I'm not about to let you get away with that. Let him know. And then he's just like, oh yeah, I'm a doctor, and you know, I help HIV patients and all that kind of stuff, because obviously, you know, HIV is very big in the homosexual community. Just is what it is. And so he was like, dude, you were about to fuck over somebody that supports you, motherfucker. Like, damn. That's crazy. All right, this is going to be our last one. Perhaps not the best, but a funny one I was reminiscing about earlier today. One of my roommates had an open book exam for which he prepared a long set of cheat sheet notes, but he was having trouble printing them, so he emailed them to me to print out. Roommate 3 and I decided to put a nice watermark on every page, just faint enough to be visible, but not something you notice at first. So we Googled image fat cock. Bruh. And slapped that on every page. He had a fun time at the exam. Yeah. Oh, that's fucked up. And they made it a watermark too, so he couldn't like get it off. Damn, man, that's fucked up. Oh my god. Oh goodness. All right. Hopefully you guys like that thread. It was a little dry. I was hoping it was going to be a juicier thread, but you know, it is what it is. Teach its own. You win some, you lose some. Oh my goodness. We're going to get into the announcements, and then we're going to talk about Love is Blind season 6 a little bit, and then we'll get into our scenarios. Patreon.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. Get on there, $3 a month if you want an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to be featured in the episodes. Get your scenario on the episode. TikTok as well as Instagram. Get on there for the clips. TikTok has been blowing up crazy. Thank you guys so much. We are right there. As of this episode, we are 4,900 followers, man. We are so close. It is right there. That 5,000 goal is just right there. And then after the 5,000 goal, we are on our way to 10K, baby. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Appreciate all the support, man. If you want to help out on the free 99 side more, subscribe to us on YouTube as well as rating the podcast on audio platforms. That helps out a lot. All right, without further ado though, I'd like to talk about Love is Blind season 6 a little bit more. Last time we talked, we kind of just went through all the cast members and so on and so forth. The recent episodes that came out, or I guess the recent episode, if you will, with the weddings and stuff like that, man, dude, this season was trash. This season was just fucking terrible. Fucking terrible, man. You know, Love is Blind, it started out as a great concept and a great show. You know, it was like a great idea. You know, you have these pods and then you guys go on your honeymoon and you meet a person sight unseen and all this kind of stuff. But now I just feel like everybody's on this motherfucker for clout, bro. You know, like nobody goes on to this show anymore for the intended purposes of actually finding love or being with somebody. No, everybody, and I mean everybody, wants fucking clout. And that's all this season was just a clout grab for everybody. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, we had one couple actually get married, and it was the couple we all knew was going to get married. You know, we knew that fucking Clay and AD weren't going to get married. We knew that from Jump Street, and fucking, now I don't want to sit here and say AD was so desperate, but like, she just wanted to get married so fucking bad. She was just willing to accept that nigga and all his flaws. But see, I personally think it was a thing where she wanted to marry this nigga. She knew he had assets and stuff like that. So she looked at it like, if I get married to him and the marriage don't work out, cool, I'm going to take half this nigga's shit. If the marriage does work out, then cool, it's a W. So I think for her, she looked at it like, man, this is a W regardless. I'm going to come out on top no matter what. And I think that's kind of what she was banking on, and it kind of seems fucked up in my opinion. But hey, you know, it is what it is. Now, the Jimmy and Chelsea thing at the beginning, come on, man. Like, Jimbo, we knew you didn't want to fuck with Chelsea. I do commend him on not making it all the way to the altar and getting all the family together and doing all that, you know, because Clay knew he wasn't going to marry AD, but yet he wanted to say no at the altar, which I'm like, nigga, why? But hey, is what it is. I knew that Clay was telling her what she wanted to hear, and he didn't want to be married. You know, you could just tell he was so hesitant the entire season. We already knew that shit. And yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, like I said, just a trash episode, or just a trash season, man. The reunion's probably going to be coming up. We'll probably talk about that next Sunday. Maybe not. I don't know. It depends on how juicy it is. I mean, it's going to be juicy to some degree because we already know somewhat that Jeremy and Sarah Ann are a thing. So we know that somewhat. I don't know if they're still a thing. They might be, but I know that's going to ruffle Laura's feathers, and that's going to be that's going to be a big thing. I'd love to see if Jimmy and Jessica are actually still together, because I already know that Jimmy, ever since the barbecue, ever since he saw her, he was just like, whoo, goddamn. You know, and I knew he was going to try to weasel his way out of that relationship because he didn't want to fucking marry Megan Fox from Wish.com. Come on, bro. And, like, let's just be honest here. He didn't want to marry that girl. Like, come on, man. You know? So, that is what that is. We might talk about the reunion next week, depending on if it's good or not. You know what I mean? I'm already checked out of this season, if I'm being honest with you, because it's just trash. All right, let's get into our scenarios. We got our first one. He randomly showed up to my apartment last night. Oh, shit. My ex called me exactly 74 times last night. God damn, nigga. Back to back, would not stop blowing up my phone for hours. Then he proceeds to text me this. It's been a while now. A while now. For what it's worth, I'd like to have that conversation. I see things a lot clearer now, and I feel absolutely terrible. Believe it or not, Believe it or not, I'm doing so much better. I'm sober now. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make things right. Please pick up or just message me back. Answer, please. This needs to happen tonight. I don't understand why we can't have a conversation. Why are you making complicated? Okay. I have everything intact now, but our situation, again, I just want to talk. Okay, I'm on my way. Baby, can you just tell me what you want? This is all him. He's just texting over and over and over and over again. Can you come out? You don't know the truth. I understand you don't want to be with me, but I need to fucking tell you my side. Thankfully, I live in a building where he needs a fob to get in, and since it was so late at night at this point, there was no one else coming inside to let him in easily. But I was scared he was going to wait for someone and show up right at my door, in which I would have probably had to call the cops. See previous posts for context, but long story short, I found out he was sleeping with prostitutes, and outside a short conversation about the dog he had gotten me shortly before, I have refused to talk to him since then, and it's been about 3 months. I am starting to become a bit scared. Golly. So this man was fucking on prostitutes and doing all this shit behind her back. I guess he got her a dog. I don't know. But homeboy he called 74 times, texted all this shit, and then just decided, okay, I'm coming over. Like, what?
Bruh.
You're going to come over? Like, nigga, no. Like, I'm not responding to any of your messages, and you've called me 47 times. Like, get the hint, bro. And then he's like, I've changed. I'm better. I have everything in my life going perfect except for you. And it's like, you fucked that up, bro. Like, you know what I mean? You wasn't thinking about all that when you was fucking these hoes, man. Like, come on, dude. Like, it's just ridiculous, if I'm being honest with you, man. Like, what the hell are you doing, dude? That is crazy. Just absolutely crazy talk. Like, golly, man. Like, get some help, bro. Like golly.
Stop it.
Get some help.
Ridiculous. We're moving on. Am I the asshole for refusing to lose my virginity to a guy mostly because he won't fulfill my kink? Okay. I mean, you're a virgin and you got some kinks already? God damn, girl. For context, me and this guy have been talking for a few months, and it's still semi-fresh. He's 7 years older than me, and we are both a legal age to have sex in the country we live in. He took me out for a date at a local restaurant, and all was going well. We were talking, and the topic of virginity arose. He told me that he has had sex multiple times before, and started talking and asking me about my body count. I told him I was a virgin. This came as a surprise to him, mostly because I dress quite revealing and I have talked about having ex-boyfriends. I noticed him becoming really eager, and he told me he really wanted to take my virginity because he had never slept with a virgin before.
Bruh.
Okay. This is where things became complicated. I have a specific kink I discovered is basically the only thing that can get me off. Yeah, see, I don't think she's a virgin, bro.
Stop the cap.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you're a virgin, bro. Like, all right. I discovered it's basically the only thing that can get me off. I've tried to think about vanilla stuff when I'm doing it solo, but it never works unless I imagine having this kink fulfilled. It is extremely important to me that, especially for my first time, I actually enjoy the sex. When I mentioned this to him, I also explained that if he wasn't comfortable doing it, then we could just have intercourse, and then I'm completely fine with it, or with that, and continuing what we have and maybe picking up the conversation later. However, he said that the issue wasn't that he wasn't comfortable with it. He definitely could, but he just didn't want to. He then went on to explain that it does nothing for him, and he wants his first time sleeping with a virgin to be as he imagined it.
Bruh.
Like, this man is just like, oh, I found her. I found a virgin. I want it to be magical. I want this first time to just be the best time of my life. Like, nigga, what? I think he is just playing way too much into this virgin thing, but all right. I tried to again explain that losing my virginity was a very important and scary thing for me, and that I felt my pleasure should come first considering it was my first time, but he simply called me selfish and kept trying to reason with me why his pleasure was more important until I flat out refused to have sex with him. He called me immature and sensitive for taking away his opportunity to do something he really wanted to do and left the date, and I can't help but wonder if maybe I was in the wrong. I texted him a few times since the date trying to apologize considering I really do like him, and I hope it's not a deal breaker, but he has made it pretty clear by not replying that he doesn't want to talk to me. Am I in the wrong? Okay, first off, why are you trying to mend things? This nigga's a weirdo, bro. All right, let's just get that out right now. Dude is weird. Dude is weird as hell. Like, I get it. You know, some guys may value a virgin and all this whatever and whatnot, but it's like, I wish he told us what the kink was. You know, like, was it that bad? Was it something that, you know, like what kink could be so bad to where a dude is just like, nah, I ain't down for that. You know what I mean? Like, that to me kind of doesn't make sense. A lot of guys would be down for a lot of shit, if I'm being honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of guys would just be like, oh, that's your kink? All right, cool. I'll put your foot in my mouth. You know, like, a lot of guys would be down with a lot of shit, if I'm being honest with you. A lot of dudes are fucking weird, and they're just down for everything. So, I don't get it. And then why does it have to be magical for this dude? You know, like, you're having sex with a virgin girl, okay, so what? Why does it have to be so magical? Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. What if I knew what the kink was? I think it would help me out a little more to see if you were actually in the wrong. But if I'm being honest with you, I mean, a lot of the kinks, that women have, they're not that bad, if I'm being honest with you. No. And a lot of guys are willing to do them regardless, if I'm being honest with you. So it's like, what point of contingency did he really have with this kink? I don't know. I don't know what it really is. I don't think she's a virgin, though. I mean, to have a kink and you haven't had sex yet, I don't know about that one.
Stop the cap.
I don't know about that one because, is she in the wrong, though, for refusing to lose her virginity to that guy? No, not really. I mean, look, in the context of the conversation, maybe, because I think that was a dumb conversation. Oh no, my pleasure comes first. No, my pleasure comes first. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like who cares? You're both gonna be pleasured. You know what I mean? It's like, as the dude, you're gonna bust your nut regardless. All right? You know what I mean? And then if you gotta do just a little bit of kink stuff or whatever just to get her off, like, so what? You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that was a dumb conversation, if I'm being honest with you. You know what I mean? I just really think that was the stupidest conversation to have. Sit there and be like, my pleasure should come first. No, my pleasure should come first because it's my first time. Well, my pleasure should come first because this is my first time with a virgin. And it's like,
bruh.
That just makes no sense. That just sounds like the stupidest conversation I've ever heard, if I'm being honest with you. But hey, whatever, man. It is what it is. All right, moving on. My boyfriend said our intimacy was trash. Okay. I, 23 female, have been with my boyfriend, 29 male, for 4 years, and today he said something that crushed my heart. This weekend, I went to spend the weekend at his place, and I thought we had a good time. 2 days later, today, he said to me, "Why was our sex so trash this weekend?" I was so shocked when he said this, but I calmly asked him why he thinks that, and he says that he feels like we really didn't want to do it. We really didn't want to do it, but we did it anyway. I explained to him that that's not how it felt for me, and he should speak for himself. He said, "Well, that's how I feel. If you have a problem with it, then you'll just have to deal with it." Oh, wow. I started to feel myself slowly getting emotional, so I went to the bathroom and cried a bit. I don't like him to see me cry. When I got back, I told him that using the word trash really hurt my feelings, and he said that he's just being honest with me and that I'm unfair for being upset that he feels that way. He then said the reason he feels this way is because I didn't seem excited for it, which is really confusing for me. I'm not saying he's wrong for not enjoying it, but saying it's trash is so hurtful, and I wanted him to apologize and say it differently, but he stood by his words. Am I being too emotional about this? Yes. Am I wrong for being hurt by his choice of words? Yes. If I'm being honest with you, is it not is it not to want is it something to not want to be intimate? Oh, is it wrong to not want to be intimate with him ever again after he said that? Okay, are you being too emotional about it? Yes, you really are. If I'm being honest with you, you're being a little too emotional. Because it's like, look, man, when you've been in a relationship a long time, you're going to have moments where the sex low-key kind of trash. It just is what it is. You're not going to have amazing, awesome sex every single time you have sex when you're in a relationship for, 2-3+ years. You're just not. That's just the way it goes. It's the way it is. And, it's okay. That's fine. It's not a bad thing. So, I don't look at it as a bad thing. If I'm being honest, like, look, man, it is what it is. Now, I would have asked him what made the sex trash. Like, were you just laying there? I guess he seemed like he said that you weren't into it or whatnot. I don't know about, maybe you weren't moaning enough, or, maybe you were just kind of quiet the whole time. And because you got to understand, ladies, for guys, we like it when, you're extremely vocal. And I understand you sit there and you guys are like, but you guys aren't vocal. That's because we are trying not to nut. Okay. Like we trying not to bust, because you gotta understand, man, men are extremely visual creatures. And so, when our thing is in your thing and it's thanging and you guys are looking great, and it's like, ooh, we need to concentrate. And so we can't be going like, oh yeah, fuck, ooh, yeah. We can't be doing that, man, because we go nut like that. And then you gonna be laying there like, that's it. Trust me, we have a method to our madness. That's why we're the most vocal when we nut. Because it's like, all right, cool. I don't got to think about baseball. I don't got to think about other shit in the middle of it anymore. I can be fully invested now because I nutted. I'm good. I gave her, you know what I mean, a good, 2-3 minutes of pumping. You know what I mean? If you don't think 2-3 minutes is a long time, all right, you try humping for 2-3 minutes, uninterrupted. And then she's over here like, oh, that's the spot right there. Don't stop. And you're like, no. You know what I mean? You got your legs cramping and shit. Like, trust me, man. It ain't as easy as you ladies think it is. All right? Get the fuck out of here, man. 2-3 minutes, that's a long time. God damn. I always say like 15 to 20 is too long. Like, girl, you was doing something wrong. I'm just saying. But Ishilo, like I said, you're always you guys are gonna have trash sex here and there. It's just something that's gonna happen. You guys have been together for a long time. They've been together for 4 years. 4 years is a lot of sex. So, it's gonna happen. But you are definitely wrong for not wanting to be intimate with them after saying that. Like, just take it with a grain of salt and just be like, well, what can I do to not make it trash? You know what I mean? Like that's another thing that I've noticed women have a hard time with, you know what I mean? Is accepting like what's said and then being like, well, how can I change it? Instead you guys just get emotional and defensive, and when you want to cry and you're like, oh my God, how dare you? Oh my God, why would you even say that? That's so fucked up. I don't want to be intimate with you. It's like, okay, fine then. You know what I mean? I'll just go beat my fucking meat. I don't give a shit. But at the same time, it's like, just ask. Be like, hey, what can I do to not make it trash then? You know what I mean? Like talk to your partner a little bit. If it's not good for him and it's good for you, obviously there's something that you're doing wrong. So talk to him. I don't get why you can't just have a conversation and you're so hung up on the whole how it's said and the word trash and all that kind of stuff. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, who cares about that? Just talk to him and be like, hey, what can I do to like not make it trash or whatever? Like, what did I do wrong? And that's going to go a long way, and it's going to actually help you guys' relationship, because I think it's just crazy the fact that you're like not giving him intimacy and you're overreacting over that. I get it. Maybe in the moment, that might have hurt you initially and then kind of made you upset or whatever. But if I'm being honest with you, it's a thing where it's like you could have calmed down, got out of your emotions, and then just been like, well, babe, why do you think our sex is trash? What, you know what I mean? What can make it, not trash? So that's how I kind of feel about that one. Yeah. All right. On to our next one. This will be our second to last. Why did I cheat on him? Okay. Well, let's see why. About 2 years ago, I was 19 and got in a relationship with this guy, 21. And I was in love with him. The chemistry was definitely there, and he was my first everything, and he was affectionate and reassuring. We definitely bickered about things, but I think that made us closer. We got together during spring break, and he left for school and came back in May for good. by end of June, he threw a party and I cheated. We didn't have sex. I don't know about that one.
Stop the cap.
My boyfriend was blacked out and I was super drunk and I don't even remember kissing or touching his friend. All I could recall was the aftermath, and I became conscious when I started crying about how I'm scared he doesn't love me. I'm not sure why I was crying hysterically because I never doubted his love at all, and I also knew that I loved him and we were doing so well that I'm surprised I was even crying about that. Never once did I think about his friend or even liked his friend that way. I don't know about
Stop
that.
the cap.
If anything, I had only seen him a handful of times. In fact, the whole duration of the party, I had barely seen him until the end when that happened. At that time, I was an avid drinker. I think it had been over a year since I drank like that. There's a lot to this story, but that day runs through my head a lot. And after going to therapy and writing down the events multiple times, I still wonder exactly why that happened. Okay, man, if I'm being honest with you, it just might have been a thing where you were in your feelings that day and just feeling insecure at that time. That alcohol just made you very insecure and thinking different, and just thinking like, oh, if he's not paying attention to me right now, and the friend was. That's probably what it was. Is like you guys are at this party and your man's not really paying much attention to you. So then you get in your feels and you feel a little insecure. But his friend is giving you all this attention, and it's the attention that you want. And you're like, oh, well, if my boyfriend's not going to give me this attention and this guy will, okay, I'll take it. You know what I mean? And I've noticed that tends to happen a lot of times. And it just like throughout the course of doing this show and the numerous amount of cheating stories that I've seen, whether it's a guy or it's a girl, I'm not saying guys don't do this either, because they do. Just from what I've witnessed on this show, that seems to be what it is a lot of times people are just in their feels at the moment. And they look at it like, oh, my significant other doesn't do what this person is doing for me right now. So the fact that this person is doing what, I would want my significant other to do, then I'm going to just like get all into this. And then you're drunk and so you're not really thinking straight, or you're under the influence of some drug, whatever the case may be. And so you justify it in the moment. And then when it happens and it's over, you're like, oh, fuck, what did I do? Because you're out of your feels. You're now thinking a little more logically. You're now thinking a little more soundly. And you're like, oh, man, I fucked up. Like, why did I do that? Why did I do all this stuff? So, like I said, it's just one of those things where you were just in your feels at the moment. Your boyfriend probably wasn't paying a lot of attention to you at the party. The friend was. You were in your feels like, oh, my boyfriend's not doing this, da-da-da-da. And, one thing led to another. Now, is it right? No, not at all. But you're still in the wrong for that shit. And, hopefully you don't make this mistake again, but it is what it is. But I think that's definitely the biggest reason why you did what you did. Because, you were 19, you know what I mean? I'm sure in that relationship, your boyfriend had to reassure you so many times that you were loved and cared about and all this hoopla, because that's how it is. That's how it is getting into a relationship a lot of times when you're, that young. And it's one of those things where it's like, you need that constant reassurance, especially as a woman, because you see, women on Instagram and how they are with their boyfriends, and then you see them on TikTok, and then you see them on this, and then you see it in person. So, you know what I mean? There's just so much out there, and you kind of just feel like, oh my God, does my boyfriend do that? I don't know if my boyfriend does that. Like, my boyfriend doesn't do that. Does that mean that he doesn't love me? Like all this shit is running through your head. And so with all of that, it does create a sense of like, I guess you could say insecurity in the back of your mind. And so when that arises and somebody is immediately giving you the attention that you want, you kind of gravitate towards that a little bit. And I've noticed that with a lot of cheating stories, a lot of cheating stories. Same thing with guys. Guys are the same way, where it's just like, oh, my wife's not giving me attention. Oh, my wife doesn't do this anymore. And this girl is, sucking me to the base, and you know what I mean? Swallowing all my cum and doing everything great, and my wife just doesn't do that anymore. And they'll gravitate towards that. And I think that is just how it goes a lot of times. And people, I think, just honestly need to just be happy in their relationship and not really compare their relationship to other people's relationships. Because when you compare your relationship to other relationships, that's when the insecurities start, the shit hits the fan. You start thinking about all the bad that your partner doesn't do. You know what I mean? You start to look at your relationship in a negative light at that point instead of a positive light. And then that's what starts the cheating, because the insecurity leads to the cheating, because then you'll be seeking somebody who will give you that. And as a woman, that's easy because all these guys are willing to give you that. All you got to do is just bat your eyes at another motherfucker and he'll be like, oh, hello. Hooey-wee, so like I personally think that's what it was. You were just comparing your relationship. He wasn't giving you enough attention. You were emotional at that point. He was giving you what you were missing at that point, and then you did it and you're like, oh shit, I low-key think she kind of fucked him, but I that's another thing. All right, on to our last scenario for today. Am I the asshole if I refuse to wear thicker yoga pants to cover my dick print? All right, man. Let's see. Why he wrote this in, I don't know. But let's see. Apparently the nigga needs advice. Why are you a dude wearing yoga pants? What the fuck we talking about here? Okay. I attend a hot yoga class in the mornings and have always worn the same style of yoga pants. Man, you is fruity to looms. All right. There are these thin gray ones that are perfect because it gets so hot. A downside of these pants is that you can clearly see my dick print in certain poses. I am aware and also wear compression shorts to minimize this effect, but I admit it's still fairly obvious at times. Anyway, I've been attending this class for a while and have never had a problem. However, we had some new participants with their start of a new year. As a part of an influx, there is a few of yogis who told me the other day I should wear thicker pants because no one wants to see my junk during their yoga class. Okay, I tell them, then don't look. The fuck? I thought they were joking at first, but no, they were dead serious. I talked to the yoga instructor and she confirmed that they had said something to her, but she had told them she didn't think they were a problem as long as we had a top and pants / shorts on. She would never tell someone what they could / couldn't wear. Facts. Or you just don't look at my dick. Like, come on, man. That stuff pisses me off so much. It's like, you don't like that, my schmeat is visible. Then I would have just been like, okay, don't look. There's so much else to look at in this room. Why are you looking at me? Come on, man. Unless you thinking about it. Like, shit, bro. But now I'm second guessing myself. Should I wear different pants even though they would be hotter / more uncomfortable, or am I in the right for sticking with my current pants? Man, stick with your current pants, bro. If the teacher is fine with it, like you talk to the teacher and the teacher is like, look, I'm not going to tell you what you want to wear. That's their problem. If they don't want to show up to this class, that's on them. But I understand you're here. You're not bothering nobody. You're not putting your dick in anybody's face or making any of the women here feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, you're not doing any of that stuff. If they want to look at your dick print, that's their problem. You know what I mean? And if they have a problem with it, you just sit there and be like, then don't look. Don't look at my dick then. You know what I mean? Like, why the hell you got this problem? Don't look at my dick then, bro. Like, that's your problem, not mine. That's just how I see that. It's like, come on, man. Like, if you got such a big issue to it, why you looking, unless you about that, you know what I mean? I'd be like, hey, baby. Oh my goodness. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and do a bonus one for you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna do a bonus one for you guys. I'm feeling a little generous today. Since the thread was kind of super whack, we'll do a bonus one. I'm a bad person. Kissed a girl on a trip abroad. Telling my partner tomorrow. Okay. 25 male, met a European girl on holiday, 23 female. She was working in a shop and I ended up asking for her Facebook and if she was free to go walking a couple days later. I don't know what got into me, but she seemed super nice and had a great smile. I didn't have any intentions to cheat. I don't know about
Stop the cap.
We ended up going walking and it was a fun day, but nothing that would be considered cheating. Telling jokes, throwing rocks gently at each other, etc. That sounds like flirting to me, motherfucker. After that, she headed home as she was tired from work the previous day and all the walking. Anyways, this is where the story turns. I ended up chatting a bit more to her and popping into the shop the next day. I offered to meet her after the shop closed and have a little wander about and a chat. We did so and I offered to walk her home as it was only 10 minutes away. We arrived outside her house and we said goodbye as it was one of the last times I would see her before I went home. We shared a hug and as we parted our eyes sort of met and we ended up kissing for a few seconds, and as I pulled away she pulled me back in for another kiss. I don't know what came over me about
Stop the cap.
But I couldn't resist it. Even now, I don't think I would have had the mental strength to push her away. I am aware I'm a dick for this. Anyway, we said goodnight and I watched her go into the house as I walked away. I am such an idiot for doing this, cheating on my long distance girlfriend of 4 years. She deserves to know. I'm aware I'm a cunt for this, so feel free to tell me I am. She will be finding out tomorrow when I can video call her. Well, at least you're going to do the right thing and you're going to tell her what happened. But nigga, you didn't feel bad. You obviously were cheating because you flirted with this girl. Like if you had no intentions of cheating with this girl, you wouldn't have asked for her Facebook. You wouldn't have asked her to hang out with you. You wouldn't have popped by the shop and walked her home and did all that. Come on, man. You were giving this girl clear vibes of like, I am interested in you and I like you. And that's why she kissed you. She was like, oh, hell yeah. I like this. I want this. And you over here, talking about, oh, I feel bad. Oh, I shouldn't have did it, man.
Stop the cap.
Come on, bro. You didn't feel bad at all. You weren't, like, come on, man. You was thinking with your dick. And it is what it is. Like, come on, man. But like I said, I'm glad you acknowledged, you're wrong. You're going to tell your girl. Hopefully you tell her. You might just be saying that and then you might back out of it, because you're just like, oh, I don't want to lose her, I mean, she deserves to know. And I mean, if homegirl breaks up with you, oh, well, he said he's not going to see the shop girl anymore. Yeah. I mean, hey. If you down for long distance relationships, you can try to long distance with her through Facebook. It is what it is. But hey, you gonna have to deal with that one way. You guys tell me what you think about that one in the comments. Does he really feel bad about cheating? Is he really in the wrong? Do you think he told his girlfriend? Because I don't think he did. But hey, we'll see. But that's going to go ahead and do it for me for today on this beautiful Sunday. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Again, patreon.com/Am I the Asshole podcast. Get on there, $3 a month. It gets you an exclusive episode as well as being able to get your scenario sent in to the show, just like these lovely people did today. If you'd like to help further support the show, rate the podcast if you're an audio listener, subscribe if you're on YouTube, or even if you're not on YouTube, just pop on over there, hit the subscribe button. That helps out a lot. Even if you don't watch over there, TikTok as well as Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Please follow us on TikTok. We are so close to it, man. 4,900 followers. We are ever so close to that 5K goal, and then we're on our road to 10K. So thank you guys so much for all the support. Love you guys. Appreciate you all, and peace.